Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. And as you see, I have a very special guest. She is no stranger. Her name is Kendall Cobb. She's a hypnotherapist. And in honor of Women's Month, we're going to be talking about some things that are very important to the sisterhood. Okay. And in the meantime, I do want to thank everybody much for joining me this evening with the Live with Lloyd family. And before I bring on, there's a couple of things. First of all, I want to let you know that Numbers in You is being, or Live with Lloyd is being sponsored by Nicholas Brooklyn, and now celebrating over 50 years in business. Okay. Also, U-Juice. U-Juice is an incredible product. I mean, you got to try for yourself. Don't take my word for it. But I remember when I was in Trinidad there when his wife and Uchenna was putting this together, little in my imagination. I don't even think in their imagination that they see such a quality product. But go to Livet, LIVETSTORE.com. Go to their website and see it for yourself. Check it out and order the product, as the juices are GMO free, sugar free, all those other things. Also, want to let you know that Jazz Aphrodite presents a Cardiology Institute, and that is going to be on March the 25th. It's a 6-week course, and feel free to join. Also, Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly, who is going to who sponsored the show on a regular basis, and I thank her very much for that too. I thank everybody, really. Next week, we'll be having a new sponsor in addition to this. But before I bring on my guests, I want to let you know that today is, I think I got this right, Wednesday the 12th. The sun is in Pisces, the moon is in Virgo. It's a 3 universal month, a 5 universal week, a 6 universal day. Libras and Taurus in the house, or anyone born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of the month. This is your day. And before I do bring on Miss Kendall Cobb, a couple of things. Somebody had sent me a notice about they had missed the online services of the streaming for the eulogy of Roberta Flack. Well, you can still see it. I checked this today just before I came on the air. You go to robertaflack.com. That's where you go, robertaflack.com, and you click on the link above that says join live stream. Yes, it was 2 days ago, but if you go there, you can see it in its entirety. It's almost 3.5. Really, actually, it's about 3 hours and 40 something minutes, but it's almost about 4 hours. It's very powerful, very emotional. So, that is so for those for those of you who want to like replay it, whatever, it will give you a chance. So it's robertaflack.com. And before I bring on my guests, there's a couple of things that's going on in the heavens, cosmically speaking. First of all, there are going to be 4 eclipses for 2025. 2 of them are lunar, which is the moon, and 2 of them are solar. Well, this was tomorrow, today's the 12th. Actually, tomorrow and Friday will be a total lunar eclipse. They call it a blood moon because the way it's going to be configured, it's going to give off a reddish tone to it. But by the time the eclipse ends, in fact, it'll start at 11:50 p.m. tomorrow night and will end at 6:05 the following morning. Then about 2 weeks later, there will be and by the way, this is what the eclipse will look like tomorrow. For those who are interested, as you see, it has a red hue. And actually, it's when the sun comes between the earth and the moon. That's when it is. So when the sun is between the earth and the moon, that's what makes for a lunar eclipse. In a solar eclipse, that is when the moon is between the sun and the earth. So it's going to be a little, but in fact, you can be able to see it tomorrow. There's a live viewing of it, streaming. And then 2 weeks later on the 29th, there will be a solar eclipse, and it's going to be partial. Now, that's what a partial looks like. If you see it, it looks like a bite has been taken out of the sun, but that's a partial eclipse. So there's going to be two of them. The lunar eclipse is going to be tomorrow into Friday, and then the next one will be September 7th into the 8th. As far as the solar eclipse, that will be on the 29th of March and also the 21st of September. So those will be the only eclipse going on this year. By the way, beginning on the 13th, tomorrow evening, actually into Friday, Mercury, the planet of communication, goes retrograde. It's going to be retrograde all the way from Friday the 14th through Monday, April 7th. So this means you should not go on, well, you know what I mean. It's not the best time to enter into contracts. Now, I'll say this, for those of you who have had contractual types of arrangements, and now they're coming to a head, that's one thing. But to get up on the 14th and through the 7th and say, okay, I'm going to launch this deal and sign this contract. I mean, it's not that you couldn't do it, but if you're likely to encounter more resistance than is normal, you would understand. It is not the best time to buy cars, electronics of all kinds, or things of that nature. And one of the things is, well, people just assume, well, you said meet me at this time. And I said, no, you said meet me at that time, which caused confusion. And one more thing, Venus, the planet of love, has went retrograde on Saturday, March the 1st, and will remain that way until Saturday, April the 12th. Now, Venus deals with love and feelings and affections and partnership and whatnot. So everything is going to be cool up until about the 14th of March. But then when Mercury kicks in also, and it's going to be a full moon at that time, people may be more into their feelings. So whether it's a business relationships with partners, whether it's a personal relationship or casually, it just simply means people might be a little bit on edge or on kind of very sensitive, or as they say nowadays, into their feelings. So that is it for this week. Now I'd like to bring on my very special guest, if I may. That is Kendall Cobb. Kendall, how you doing?
I'm great, Lloyd. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Fine. You look wonderful, young lady. You look
Thank
wonderful.
you.
How the
I
girls?
try. I do try. Everyone's
All you
good.
women try. All you women try.
Too.
This is Women's Month, and there's something very special about you that, in a sense, you're going to be celebrating a celebration coming up this month on the 17th, I do believe. Can you tell
Yeah.
us about it?
March 17th is my 28th anniversary as a hypnotherapist, so I'm very excited about it. And it seems that we usually do these interviews close to my anniversary, which is interesting.
You mean you've been doing this 28 years as of the
20,
17th?
yes.
That's
28
amazing.
glorious years. I am
Uh,
so blessed that I found what I absolutely love.
well, with this being Women's Month, I was told that women nowadays, I don't know whether it's the pressure of work or just everybody keeping their head above water, that women are going to either more therapy or counseling and on medications than at any other time. So, from your perspective in your profession, has that been your experience?
Well, a lot of my clients are coming to me either in hopes to avoid having to go on medication. These
Hmm.
are some really difficult times right now. The current administration, everyone's stressed out. Everyone's wondering, what does it all mean? How is this all going to unfold? Like, these are precarious times. So, understandably, people are stressed. I'm stressed. And I have the tools, but I
Yeah.
have I have to remind myself to really, you know, sit back, breathe, pull it together. It's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We have to make strategic moves. We have to be careful. But yes, a lot of my clients are either on medication, wanting to get off of it, or feeling like they need medication and they're trying to avoid it. And it's not just
Um,
women, it's men as well.
yes, I understand that. I was going to talk about that side too. That's the unseen side. But normally, we men, when we go through that, we're not as open. With women, they will join groups and be open about it. But we men kind of keep it to ourselves, so to speak.
Not
You know,
anymore. Men are coming to me in droves. Half of my
that's
clientele
good.
are men now. So that make and their wives, their girlfriends, their significant others are thrilled because they're easy. They're just it makes it so much easier to deal with someone who's dealing with their issues, who's,
Question: When they come to you,
unpacking and letting
when they
stuff
come
go.
I was going to say, when they come to you, is there a common thread, like pressure at work, for example, is a common denominator? Like when people see me, it's normally be either about relationships or money, primarily, or money and relationships. So is there a theme where people come through, like anxiety at work, anxiety in relationships, or it's a kind of a mixed bag of both, somewhat like I do
It,
too?
it is past traumas from childhood that are still affecting them, people realizing that some of the choices that they're making now are, due to things that they experienced as a child, or they're patterning their lives, their decisions, and their choices based on what they grew up with, and they want to make that change. They want to deal, with all of that. Generational cursing, curses, all of that stuff that it takes someone in the family to say, wait, I'm not doing that. This has to stop. So people come to me for that. People are coming to me because they're in a new season of their lives. I have people that have been working, all their lives, and either they work for the government and they're like, okay, it's time for me to do something new. What am I going to do? I don't know what to do. I want to start a business, or what do I want to do with my life? So people going through, you know, different chapters in their lives, or their children have grown up and they've moved out and now they're trying to figure out, who am I when I'm not a parent, or they've gone through a separation or divorce and having to pick up those pieces, so they're dealing with grief. A lot of people are coming to me dealing with grief from death. Someone has passed on and they're just not handling it very well. um, what else? Just all around anxiety, stress. Um, if you name it, they're coming for it. It's been vast. Some people are coming because of illness. Caretaker overload, that really seems to, that's a hard thing to do. And that
When
seems
you say caretaker overload, I think I have a feeling of what that means, but just in case, can you explain that caretaker overload?
people that are caring for their parents or grandparents, or even if they have a child who requires, some people have children that are ill or that have disabilities, that they will always take care of their children. And they're exhausted and they're battling feelings of resentment. And then they feel guilty for feeling resentful. And, it's complicated. It's a complicated thing. For those of us whose children grow up and move away, we're sad to see them go sometimes. Sometimes we're sad to see them go. Sometimes
Sometimes you got that out of here, right?
sure, but it's a choice, there are options. But if you have a child that is never going to be able to leave you and you will always be responsible for them, it's a lot to carry. So that's another issue
Yeah,
that
that's a lifelong commitment,
it's
especially in case I understand of parents of autistic children, where things
autistic
that you
children or
you and I would
children
take for
with.
granted,
Mhm.
it's a lot of requirements, from everything from toilet habits to all kinds of things that you wouldn't even imagine.
Emotional outbursts. I have a friend that is raising a son that has Down syndrome, and it's hard. It's hard for the family. It's a lot. And then you're thinking, what happens when I'm gone? Who's going to look after this child? Who's an adult, So everyone is carrying some kind of load, caring for the elderly, just so many things. Sometimes I like maybe 6 months ago, I guess, I had a client whose husband had a massive heart attack. And she was now not only taking care of him, but also taking care of all the bills. And he was the one who was really the main breadwinner. So
Mm-hmm.
having to downsize and there's a lot. This life is complicated. Things pop up when you least expect it.
And if I'm not mistaken, you do reside in Canada. Is that correct?
I am. I'm in Toronto.
Because there's a whole lot going on between this country and Canada right now with a
And I
back and
feel like
forth.
I'm in the middle because I'm a born and raised New Yorker. I'm
Yes,
New York.
yes, I know. That's why I asked.
Oh, look, King Simon. Hi, Simon. Thank
Yeah, that's my
you.
buddy. That's my buddy. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
great guy.
Simon is the reason why I'm doing all this now with all of these people in the U.S.
Well, that's how I met you through
Right, and
Simon.
and you and Dwan, yeah, it's all thanks to Simon.
Yeah, that's my buddy. That's my buddy.
He's living his best life down in Atlanta now.
I know. I know. I think it's much warmer there than it is here. That's for sure.
Oh, the weather's finally breaking a little bit here.
I do have to. I do want to ask you another question though. Of people on medication, whether it's male or female, is there a common drug or medication that is being prescribed? Does that make sense?
People are on antidepressants. I do have to be careful working with people that are bipolar.
What is antidepressant for most people? See, we hear these words and we really don't
There's so
define
many
them.
of them. I don't get involved with the medications. I'm more interested in their, so I don't ask about the medications, but I do ask what their diagnoses are. So, I mean, there's lots of different antidepressants, but my concern is what their diagnosis is. There are certain people that I have to be careful dealing with, and it's usually mental health issues. Some mental health issues are contraindicated with hypnosis.
Okay.
So I don't do that.
Just switching up a bit, you said not only are you you acknowledging on the 28 years of being in this very unique field, but you said you were also the first woman in Canada or something? Can you explain that?
First Black hypnotherapist in Canada.
Really? Have you met any other sisters since you've been there?
No. I'm such a loner though. I don't go out and mingle too much. Many years ago, I used to go to some of the gatherings, and quite frankly, they were some weird people. It's just like, this is not my crowd, so I don't partake any longer.
Well, let me ask you this then: for the women and also men, which I'm glad men are seeking your counsel too, because I found that the case because for decades, primarily my clientele were always women, but now I notice that men are opening up and men are coming forward, which is very nice too. But I think
what, Lloyd? The men that come to me, I love these men. They come, they are open, they're honest, and they just let it all hang out and we deal, and they are ready for change. It's a different time. I'm sure you see that now too.
yeah, yes,
It's
I do.
a very different time.
With the men, does there seem to be more their careers or jobs or slash the relationships or
Okay. Now we're getting to the good stuff.
yeah, please.
Many
Feel
of the
free.
men that come to me, especially in their late 20s, their 30s, and even up to like 45-ish, around in there,
Mm-hmm.
are saying, I'm ready to find my wife. I want to be married. I want to have children. I want to be a husband. I want a family. And I've just been messing around. I'm ready to really start my life, which warms my heart so much because all I hear are the sisters saying these men are just messing around. They're not looking for commitment. They're lying. They're cheating, and I'm hearing these men telling me, I want my wife. I want to settle down and really, you know, really start my life. I've just been messing around. So
Well,
that's one of the things. They're looking for their lifetime partners. Another thing is stress, just stress of being Black men. This,
yeah,
what that stress is.
yeah.
That means, at work and career wise, the things that they have to deal with. Just being Black in North America is a struggle in itself. So police, the police messing with them. Some of my clients have spent time incarcerated and they're dealing with the stress of what they went through when they were incarcerated and after, even, trying to find work. And they're okay now, but, they're still haunted by various things that have happened. A lot of men don't talk about the molestation they've been through. And that happens a lot too in our community, and we don't talk about it, but it does, and I know that it does, and which I wasn't as aware, and nearly as aware as I am now. Now that my clientele has shifted from 99% Caucasian to 99% Black, I'm really learning more about what we're going through because I'm hearing intimate details of what we're dealing with. So this is a this these men are very open and very honest, and they're doing the work, and they're coming out on the other end really well,
I
happy,
would
whole.
I would think in order to start the healing process, you got to be honest with yourself.
Yes,
Would that be correct?
I have had on too many occasions to count where a client will say, wow, I didn't even, they'll say something and then I didn't even remember that until now.
Hmm. Hmm.
I must have completely packed that away. Or in our discussion, they'll put two and two together. Things will start coming together and they'll realize, oh my goodness, this happened because of this.
They
People
begin to
are
connect the
believers.
dots.
And yeah, absolutely. And this is even before the hypnosis part. This is just going like through the intake and just,
Yeah,
asking.
because you do have them fill out a questionnaire too.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not just hi and we get
Right.
started. There's a
And
screening process.
and then once I have that, then I'll ask questions like, what was your greatest trauma? What was the worst thing that ever happened? What was the best thing that ever happened? Like it's important for me to really get to know people. And even before the intake form, because I'll never send out an intake form without speaking to someone first, we have a good conversation. Like we dig in, even with just that initial phone conversation. And a lot is spelt even then. So it's very comprehensive, that's for sure. It's not like going into regular therapy where you go in, it's 45 minutes and then, oh, time's up.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I do not do that.
Now
I really
a
spend
viewer
time.
asked, were you a Virgo? Because she really enjoys being alone too.
No, I'm a Sagittarius
Yeah, okay.
with a Cancer moon. Yeah.
And do you remember your rising sign?
December 10th, 1965. You tell me what. I don't remember. I did know.
No,
I
you would need to know your time of birth in order to determine your
1:36
descendant.
p.m.
Because what is it?
1:36 p.m.
So your moon is sitting in the ninth house. That's a house of travel. The ninth house governs the sign of a Sagittarius anyway, which is global, universal, international,
It's amazing how you do that.
things of
I
that
know
nature.
you've done this for how many years now? Like 50, 40?
something I've done. I've done it a lot. I
It's
lost
been a
count.
long time. You can just pull it right out of your head like that.
Yeah,
That's
but I enjoy
very
it.
impressive.
But you know, anyone who develops any skill set in any craft will be able to do that. It's amazing how mechanic will do something, how mathematician. We all have our
And
skill
then your
sets.
intuition kicks in. And a lot of what I do is based on my intuition. Like just someone sitting in front of me, because we do it like how we're doing this interview, it's online, right?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
looking at them and it's like something will just come into my head. Ask this. And then you'll see on their face, like,
Well, it took me a
oh,
long time to do this. I've had the lights go off. I had the computer go off. I didn't charge it. It's like, but you
there's
learn
a
in the
learning curve.
process. You learn in the process.
There's
I
a
do want
learning
to
curve,
thank
that's for
Anna
sure.
for the super chat donation. Thank you so much, Anna. Much, much appreciated, young lady. Um, uh, Somebody said hi to King Simon. This is Numeralytics. They're going to be sponsoring our show beginning next week.
Oh, yeah.
Cheryl Lee says peace and blessings to Ms. Cobb and Empress Rel and the chat. We have here, as a result, a family. That's what I call it. It's alive with Lloyd
Oh, your people love you.
family.
Absolutely.
You know,
And they tell me how much they love you and how much you've helped them.
really, that's
Oh,
nice. That's
absolutely.
nice.
They
That's
sure do.
nice. That's nice. Okay. Well, I do appreciate that. I thank you very, very much for that. But anyway, so do you have now? I know we just at the halfway mark, but so I want to let people know now, and also that there is something that you are going to give as a result of people who are tuning in today. Can
Yes,
you
I
explain
am.
that, please? Thank you.
I am. So, if anyone that books an appointment with me between now and the 17th,
Your anniversary.
my anniversary,
Yeah.
20 years, uh, I am offering a free membership for 1 year to afroprep.now. No, that's not it. Afroprepnow.com is the name. AF like Frank, RO prep, PREP now. Afroprepnow.com. You'll have a free 1 year membership. There are all kinds of classes and seminars that take place, and it's about preparedness in the Black community, preparing for whatever it is that's coming our way, knowing what to have, how to respond to certain situations. There's all kinds of different talks. There was just one about ibogaine, which is a substance that helps with addictions and all kinds of medical issues. It's full of information, and it too is a community. Definitely the Afro Prep Now people are a community, and it's growing and thriving. So 1 year membership is $79, and you will get that when you make your payment.
And in fact, I hope to have him on sometime in April so he can spell everything out in greater detail. Now,
Yeah.
there's a person that says, which is why I went solo on you, and they says there's a beautiful painting in the sister's background. What painting is that? Evidently, she picked up on it. So I
Thank
said, well, let me just go
you.
live to you.
That is from my friend Lori Bogan. This woman is amazing at whatever she does. She's a painter, she's a writer, she makes movies, she does plumbing. She ripped up her whole kitchen and put in cabinets and all kinds of stuff. She's something else. Yeah, it's called Rent Party, and it goes all the way down to the floor. It's even behind the sofa that's behind there. There's a dog on the floor and newspaper, and it speaks to back in Harlem, I guess in New York, maybe they did in Chicago, other places too. If you were behind in your rent, then you would throw a party, and people would pay to come in, and you would sell plates of food and stuff so that you could make your rent.
They used to have those back
Oh,
in the
thank
day.
you, Empress Rel. Free membership at Afro Prep Now. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, it's interesting. They used to have rent parties.
Yeah, that's why
That
she
used to
named
be
it
very
that.
common, and I think in the 40s and the 50s, and people just come over and buy food and whatever, and
You
everybody looked out for each other.
can you see? There
Yeah,
it is.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, she's really talented.
Well, anytime she's doing the plumbing and doing the cabinet work, I'd say
This
that is
woman,
an
I don't care what she does.
understatement.
She's just amazing. She used to film movies at my home.
Really?
Um, yeah, in the back in the woods and stuff. And she would do. Oh, King Simon said I'm a lifetime member.
Yeah. No,
She's
he is.
Yes. Well, he's fully trained. He could be teaching. Simon
Well, he
knows.
does teach in his own way.
With
Simon is an extraordinary gentleman, as far as I'm
I mean,
concerned.
with preparedness.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, is he doing it? Good. He should because he knows his stuff. Good.
Now,
Um,
there's a question that was asked of you, and the lady says, "Can you please help me understand how hypnotherapy can help with shadow work?"
yes. So
First of all, what is shadow work for people who don't understand that?
shadow work is when you face your demons, basically. Um, it's not easy work and it's detailed and you face all of you face the things about yourself that you have ignored, tucked away, pretended don't exist, but you come out on the other end happier and whole and so healed. So it really is facing all your demons. And I do shadow work, absolutely. Well, she's got her hair wrapped too, Cheryl. Um, I work with people that are doing shadow work, help pull them through it, and through hypnosis to also uncover things that you're not aware of. Because apparently, we tuck our stuff away. We think, well, some people know that they have repressed memories, but you really want to pull everything up. You want to go into childhood, pull that stuff up, deal with the things that you're ashamed of, things that have been hurtful to yourself, to others. It's a lot.
Do you think that's a form of self-defense? Does it make sense to,
So, yeah, self-preservation.
yeah, and to kind of like store it away where you kind of like put it way in the files of your mind, and only a person like you can bring it forward?
Yes, yes. But also using hypnotherapy, you also, while the person is under, you let them know that it's okay, that you're okay, that it's in your past, that you're coming out healed and you're coming out whole, and that it's safe to go in there and unlock Pandora's box, see what's in there and pull it up. So it's very helpful with shadow work.
The same lady who asked about the painting, she says, "What is the name of the artist again, please?"
Oh, her name's Lori Bogan, but she's not online with her artwork, surprisingly.
Interesting.
Um, she doesn't sell it. She gave this to me as a gift. It was in her home. And every time I went to her home, I always complimented her on it. And then she had filmed a few movies at my home. And then one day she came to film a movie and she brought it with her as a surprise. So it's something that I cherish.
Well, I don't blame you. King Simon said he used to throw parties like that a little different. I have to agree because I was at some of those parties too with Simon.
Were you, Lloyd?
Yes, I was.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just anyway. Um, this is you. Book a session and receive a free membership.
Yes, free membership. I am going to be doing some new things. You know, I've been a little lazy with my practice. I need to get into the whole digital age and start doing all this stuff. I'm going to start a Patreon where you can join monthly, and each month there will be a hypnosis session for you to download and use. And I'm going to be doing some meditations and things like that. So, yeah, email me and I'm getting everything set up now. It'll be set up by the 17th. And just come and be a part of it. There's lots of healing and it's fun. It's going to be fun, but
Now, in your
effective.
banner that I'm going to show, can people kind of indirectly help you celebrate?
Pardon?
Yes. As says, since it's coming up on the 17th, for people who can't be there, is there other ways they can come and participate to help you celebrate 28 years of being in your profession?
That's a good question, Lloyd.
Yeah, like, stream it for a second or whatever the case is.
Oh, maybe I'll do something like, you see, I'm telling you, I've been lazy, lazy, lazy. The truth, the truth is, I just love helping people, and all that other stuff I find so bothersome. The Instagramming, the Facebook, and all that.
Yeah, because they want you to do that so many times. You know what I'm saying?
They expect you to be good at it, and I'm not
It
a
takes a lot to
social
do
media
that.
marketer. That's not my gig. I'm a hypnotherapist. And it's funny because there are people that are really good at social media marketing that suck at what they say they do. You know, like they know how to make it look glossy and slick and very inviting, and it looks like they're great, but they're not good at what they're actually saying that they do. They're good at social media marketing. I'm terrible at social media marketing.
I
I
think they
don't.
call them now content creators or whatever. There's several
Yeah.
names, interchangeable names. But
But
let's,
some people just do that, and I get that. But if you provide a service and your social media is better than the actual service you provide, that's a problem. You're a fraud. That's what I think I sort of push away from it from, because I see so many people that are really good at doing all the stuff, and they go out and they've got their cameras and they've got editing and slick lighting and they do all this stuff, but they're not actually good at what they do. And I think that's why probably I've just been sort of reticent about jumping in too much with it.
now, over and above a hypnotherapist, as it says in your banner, you are a life coach. You are a business consultant. Can you explain that part?
I help people get their businesses started who,
Really?
so it's really part of the life coaching.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of you, Lloyd, that did all that stuff there. I don't even put all that stuff. That's kind of a you thing there. But but it's okay. It's
Okay.
okay. I help people, and it happens through hypnotherapy too. I meet people where they are. What is it you want to do? How do you want to change? What do you want to see? Who do you want to be? And then take it from there. So a lot of people will come to me and say, I hate my job, or I've just put in 20 years, city jobs, a lot of them, you put in 20 years, you can retire. So
Mm-hmm.
now they're approaching or in a new season of life and they want to start something new. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. Well, what do you like? So, we'll talk. Well, what are you good at? What do you enjoy? What did you want to be when you were, a kid? What were some of, like you ask those questions to help them figure it out. And then under hypnosis, what I may do is release their creativity and let that, blossom so that they can figure out. I often will tell people to start doing the morning pages and read The Artist's Way. Excellent
Mm-hmm.
book for people because everyone has some kind of creativity, but sometimes you just don't know what it is.
What's the name of that book and the author again?
The Artist's Way, and her last name is Cameron. What is her first name? It's been around for a long time.
The Artist's Way.
The
Mm-hmm.
Artist's Way. And she is really good at helping people figure out what it is that they want to do. She has a workbook as well. You don't really need the workbook, but you should definitely have the book. And it just helps people to sort of find their way. So I'll work with that. I'll work with eliminating their fears. A lot of times people are afraid to step out and start their own business, and they're afraid of success, they're afraid of failure. So you have to remove those things. We work with manifestation, all those kinds of things. So it just depends on what it is that you want to do. A lot of people right now, though, it's been stress and anxiety. It's been a lot of that. A lot of people dealing with grief.
I'd like to ask you a couple of questions concerning your field.
Hmm.
If you look at some of the movies, sometimes TV, whatever, they'll have a hypnotist on and they'll make the person, once they put him under under hypnosis. They make them act like a duck or quack. Can you debunk some of this stuff that they do? Is not designed to make you look silly on stage, even in life.
I have no desire to do that to anyone. But
That
what
doesn't
we
even seem like your style,
no,
Kendall.
but for some, I don't know, somehow Hollywood has done that. Now it does happen on stage, right? At stage shows, but there's a big difference between what goes on stage for entertainment purposes and
Hmm.
then how hypnosis is used therapeutically. Two completely different things. So I think I shared with you, I did once put someone under, but it was like a family member who was disrespectful and said they don't believe in hypnosis. And I kind of twitched a little, like, what? What would you say?
And they twist right on out too, right?
So I put him under and he just started hollering, I can't feel my body. I can't feel my body. Make it stop, make it stop. I was like, but do you believe now? That's the only time I ever did anything that was naughty. Otherwise,
That's
with my
funny.
clients,
That's
no. This was
funny.
what I grew up with, and I didn't appreciate what he said. So,
Yeah, well, he spoke out of turn, so
he
evidently
sure
just
did. I bet you he believes now.
yeah, that's interesting because people have these stereotypes about this or that, and especially it would are there some people that shall we say I guess there's some people that are very easy to put under or
Yes,
hypnotize. Is I don't know what I'm using the right
yes,
term in
there
your
are
field.
people. I had a man many, many, many years ago who, when he came in, he didn't want to be put under. I put him under, counted him back up, and he was in my office. This was back in the face-to-face days. And he
Hmm.
just looked at me and he said, so go on. And I said, go on what? Do it. I said, it's done. Now, I've never seen that before, and I haven't seen it since. He was very unusual. He had zero recollection that anything had happened. That doesn't
Wow.
usually happen. That's
Well, what
rare.
about the person who is reluctant? They're afraid because they don't know what might be done to them, or you might act and make them act out of character. And there's that, okay, I'm going
People
to
don't
try,
think
but I'm going
that
to keep
though.
one eye on you just in case.
Well, people don't think I'm going to do anything nefarious to them. Like, we're talking, they see this is serious stuff we're dealing with. So I don't
Yeah.
get that. But there are personality types that believe that if you can go under, then it means you're weak or that you're giving up your will. And it's none of that. It requires intelligence and creativity and all that stuff. It's it's just not understanding. And I do my best to dispel those myths before we ever get started. But the tone that is set when an appointment starts, and even before then, like I said, first it starts with the phone call, and the phone call might be half an hour, like really having a good talk and getting to know each other. Maybe sometimes it'll drag on to 45 minutes. It just depends. Um, so the tone is set. So people don't typically, I don't think they ever think that I'm going to do anything like that.
Well, I tell you this, um, what they say, full disclosure.
Hmm.
I have had a session with you. One of my daughters have had a session with you, and it is amazing.
Thank
And
you.
and I can tell you this: it's not just one, two, three. She does a screening process that's you really gotta get into yourself before she gets into you, so to speak. So I'd like to start. All I can say is it did a lot for me. In a
Thank
lot of ways,
you.
it did a lot for me. So I'm here to testify. I'm not gonna be shy
And you're
about
due
it.
for a follow up.
Huh?
You're due for a follow up.
Oh, okay, good. I'll work on that. Yes, I'll give you a call.
You're due for a follow up.
Yeah, maintenance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of clients, and I recommend this to everyone. Not everybody does it because typically what happens, people have a session and like, oh, that was amazing. I'm all better now. Everyone feels like that. But I recommend 3 sessions. The first one, you dig in, you chomp at it. And then the second one, you fine tune it. And then because of the changes you make, if you think about it, now you could actually take it further into other areas. If you think about it, there's other things like, and I'd also like to, well, if I did that, then I can do this. It opens up more possibilities. And then the third one just locks it in. The third one is, it just locks it right in. And then you'll also find that even with the movement that you had and the change that you had with the first session, you change more after the second.
That's interesting. Okay. Here's another one from Shirley. She says, have you ever had instances where clients recall what may have been a past life or is directed in a certain way to get certain answers? Do you understand what she's saying? Can I read it again?
Well, not necessarily past life. And people come to me, they want me to do past life, and I don't do past life. I will recommend other people for past life, but I don't do it. It's not that I don't believe in it, but I don't want to be responsible for someone having a false memory, which can happen, and not on my watch. I'm not going to do it. I will refer you to someone who does it, but everyone who wants to do past life, they want to hear that they were a queen, a prince, they were some, or you just don't know what's going to come up. And if that person isn't in an emotional state to receive where they were, that can be problematic. I don't engage in it. It's not that I'm against it. I just won't do it.
Okay. All right.
And
Good.
it's because I had a situation. I did have a situation, and I did not, that's not for me. And I mean, this woman she remembered, and I don't know if it was a true memory or false memory, if it was a past life memory, or if it was something that actually happened, because it can get fuzzy. I won't do it.
Well, we all know what lane to stay in. There's nothing wrong
It's
with
not
that.
my lane. You're
Yeah,
right.
I know what lane I stay in. Because sometimes people ask me, well, Lloyd, do you know how long I'm going to live or when I'm going to die? No. Even if I did, no.
Even if you know, the answer is no, right?
No, I
Right.
don't. No, that is
Because you don't know how that person's going to take it, if they can take it, or what problems will ensue behind that. I will deal with what has happened. I'm fully qualified and capable to deal with this life and what's happened in the past. But when you go beyond that, it gets murky, and I just don't like it.
Well, here's my notion. Let's say, because people are funny. And you know how it says, well, Lloyd, do you know how long I'm going to live? I'm saying, yeah, man, you got about 3 months and you got to sell all your worldly possessions. So, and then about 6 months later, they still above ground, right?
Yeah.
The next call I'll probably get is from the attorney.
Right.
So I don't play that. I know what I do. I'm good at
Right.
what I do, and I stay in my lane.
I stay in a very safe lane. I've never ever had a problem legally, ever.
Me neither. Nope.
So I'm just keeping the course. I have no desire to start veering into other people's lanes, but I will give a referral, but that's as far as I'll go. I don't even do hypnobirthing anymore, because I did hypnobirthing with the woman, and the baby.
What is hypnobirthing? I mean, I know it kind of, I got an idea, but
So when you go into labor,
yes,
it takes away the pain of labor and makes it easy. But it made it too easy, and the baby almost fell out of her going into the hospital.
Really?
She didn't have to, she was too suggestible. The pain was just gone. And she had no idea that the baby was as close to coming out as it was. Like, she caught the baby between her thighs.
Wow.
And the husband, like, sort of dropped to the floor. Not doing that anymore.
Well, somebody came. You know, one of the things, I have such a
That's
beautiful
it, Julia
audience.
Cameron.
No, that's what I was saying. I have such a beautiful live with Lloyd family. Almost always somebody knows something. If I can't, somebody who, because we were talking about the Black Panthers, I knew about Huey P. Newton, but I didn't know about Bobby Seale. And somebody says October 22nd. I mean, it's just like,
They chime
it's
right
very,
in.
very nice. Yeah. And she said
Yeah,
she
Julia
recommended to all her
Cameron.
friends.
That is the artist's way.
Now, what is the artist's way? It's designed to help a person find their direction in life creatively or
Yes,
artistically?
even, and she'll tell you that it's not just for artists and writers and poets. It's just to unleash your creativity, whatever that may be. Whatever that may be. And some people go into and they don't know what their creative outlet is, but it helps to remove the layers of self doubt and things that you've been told. You know, lots of people wanted to go to art school when they were young and they were told, no, do something that you can guarantee you're going to have, you
Mm-hmm.
know, money for bills and to take care of your family. So they didn't do what they really loved, and you know they're stifled. So and even for people who know what they're doing, who have their art forms, but they just you know they don't feel creativity. They don't feel their creativity any longer, and they're just going. You know, they're going through a thing. They're stifled. It helps to unblock that.
I
It's a
think
great
that's
book.
I think that's nice. You know, before we go, because time is going by, but we got at least about good 8 minutes or so. Did you ever thought coming up as a young child and as a young girl that you would have this as a career? Does that make sense?
I was a weird kid. So
What did you want to be when you grew up at the time? You know how they say, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? What was your thought at
I
the
thought
time?
I was going to be a doctor, and then I realized that because I'm so bad at math, that wasn't going to happen. So then, so then I thought, well, then I'll just be a businesswoman. I don't want children. I just want to be a businesswoman. I'm just going to be a high-powered businesswoman. And then I realized there was a lot of math involved with that.
Balance sheets, so and so.
So then I was like, oh my goodness. So then it turned into psychology. That I could handle. So, but it's not surprising. And to anyone, like like I said, I was a weird little girl. I was a little strange. I had an octopus for a pet. I was a
Hold it,
different
you had an
type.
octopus for a pet?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, go ahead,
Yeah,
continue.
it felt strange. Um, it's not really that surprising that this is what I do. It's not. It makes sense.
Well, that's all it does. As long as, and the nice thing about it is, I guess the beautiful part about it is you help other people on the back end, which is what I love doing, to help
Right.
people, to be of service
And
to
that's what
humanity.
feeds my soul. That's it, I can't even imagine doing something else except being a singer, but I'm tone deaf. That was the other thing. I would have loved to have been a singer, but I'm tone deaf. I can't sing. So that wasn't going to happen. So this is it.
Well, at least you know your limitations, you know?
Even if I didn't, don't worry. Everyone would stop me. I wouldn't get past the front door of anywhere with that.
Really? You have such a
Really
pleasant
don't.
voice too.
But when I do my hypnosis voice, my close your eyes and keep them closed until I ask you to open them again voice, it's different.
That's more
Totally different.
seductive, right? It's
But
more soothing, not seductive. It's more soothing,
soothing.
more
But
comforting.
funny, I was losing my voice for a while and I was terrified. They didn't know what was going on. Apparently it's some kind of menopausal thing that your voice can change. My
Mm.
voice I mean, I have a deep voice naturally, but my voice went much deeper and I thought I was losing it. And then I thought, let me try singing. I wonder if I can sing with this voice. And I was able to sing on key And it was really, really exciting. And then I said, but I want my voice, I want my real voice back. I need to get back to hypnosis. I can't. And that's what was really scary to me. I thought, what if I lose my voice? I lose my career. I lose doing what I love. I have to have my voice.
But wouldn't
So,
a deeper, slightly deeper voice make it more soothing? Where there's a deep voice, you're going deeper and deeper.
but I was losing it. It was like a laryngitis that was happening.
Uh-huh.
But it went away, thank goodness. But for about maybe 3 or 4 weeks, it was scary. It was progressively going deeper and deeper, and then I started losing my voice. So that was scary. Thank you, Empress Rel.
Yeah, yeah.
What a
And
beautiful.
I'll always forget whenever, I've been doing this now going on 3 years, 3.5 years, I would guess. And I'm
No,
always
longer
joining.
than that, right?
I know it's got to be at least 3, maybe 4. But the point is,
It
I
was
always
during
forget to say,
COVID.
please like, share, and subscribe. No wonder I don't get no thumbs up. I just go right into the forecast. Today is so and so. It's a so and so day. It's so and so month and week, and these are the signs. And the
That's
only
okay.
thing,
Empress Rel has you. She's
yeah,
taking
the only
care of
thing I've
you.
had to do within the last year or so is people now trying to mimic my show. They will, because it's numbers in you on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
but they will have a numbers in you with a little underscore or a little number. And if you're not paying attention, people will think it's me. And people are actually D'ing them for money. And at the top of my to give you an example,
That happened to me, and my clients gave money. This
yeah,
was on my first Instagram, and they said that it was really tacky too. I was offended that anyone believed I would do it. They showed a Mercedes truck, and said that because this person helped me with Bitcoin, this is my new vehicle. I would never do something so tacky. That's just tacky, tacky, tacky. But if they looked closely, they would have seen the floor mats showed a Nigerian address.
yeah, yeah.
You know the
Well,
paper mats that they put in the
yes,
car?
yes.
It was Nigerian. And one of my clients said, you know what? I gave them money because I know you, I trust you. If you say that you did it, she wasn't
Yeah,
angry with me, thank
yeah.
goodness. She said, I should have called you first. I said, I could not get into my account. I couldn't change it. I couldn't do anything. So now my IG is just hypnosis with Kendall. That other one is gone.
Now, if you look at mine, it says live with Lloyd. Now I have that, and that says like, share, and subscribe. And I have to make it clear underneath it that I will not, as live with Lloyd show or Lloyd Strayhorn, never DM you for money. But I forget
Wow.
that part. I just says Wednesday is the 12th, and so and so and so, and these are the signs. I don't even say like, share, and subscribe. I mean, it's both.
Yeah, it's scary in these internet streets. These
Yeah.
people do all kinds of stuff. And it was when they held my site hostage on Instagram, and I could not get it back. It's still, who knows what's happening with it. It's still on there, my old one.
Wow. Yeah, I
Instagram.
don't know how people do that. You know what I'm
And that
saying?
just that bittered my taste to it. So I don't really do much on there. It's
Yeah, that
you
makes
know,
sense. That makes sense. But I tell you, our time is up. We can see we got a couple more comments. 1 second. Okay. Um, so Empress Rel is saying for those that would like to book a consultation. And you know what? Also, when I'm on, like I'm going to be on Monday, this coming Monday. I'm going to be the only male this month on, okay? Because I've got the next day a power series on precious metals. So I'm going to have a guest talking about that on that Tuesday, the 18th.
nice.
And but I always forget about this. Please like, share, subscribe. But I think it's been doing well on its own organically. I like that
Going
because I'm
organic.
not trying to push for numbers.
I thought you were up here much longer for
I
some
could have
reason.
been. I
I
only
remember you
all
from
I know is I started in
WPLX
July.
for years.
It's got to be, I think, 3, maybe going on 4 years, I guess.
It's
but it's
gotta
been
be.
fun. And I really look forward to doing these. I look forward, because at first I just came on just talking about numerology and astrology, but I wanted to widen people's consciousness. So with Women's Month, for example, I'm going to have a woman on this month, two women talking about how to start a business, also a woman dealing with finances, dealing with your money to make people well-rounded as possible. And this includes the men too. So it's just women talking about it, but it includes the men who want to start a business, men who want to deal better with their finances,
Right.
or whatever the case is. This is just to kind of make Live with Lloyd more well-rounded, other than me just on the show by myself. Although I could do this by myself forever. I love this stuff.
And you're really good at it.
Yeah, I can answer all day. So it's just good, But anyway, I do want to thank you. But before we go, my dear, I want to make sure we put up your banner. And now, can you repeat what offer you're going to give them again, please?
Yes, book a session with me and you will get a free 1-year membership with Afro Prep Now. And you can go to afroprepnow.com. You'll see what it's all about. What else? That's between now and the 17th.
Right. And the 17th will mark 28 years of being in business.
28th year anniversary. Yes, 28 years in business. I can't believe it.
I do. I was going to say, imagine when you first started out the gate on day one, had somebody says, girl, 28 years up the road, you'd probably says, are you serious? I'm trying to get this.
No. I knew this was it. I knew it from the very beginning. I loved it from the very beginning.
That's good.
From the
That reminds me of my numbers.
Right out the gate. Yeah, you just know.
I mean, it just
clicks in and you're like,
yeah.
Okay.
And I was terrible in math. And somebody said, Lord, you make a living doing a numerologist, you'd write books.
Were you terrible in math?
I tried big time. I got a lot of D's. That was for dynamic though.
And that was the only thing. Me and the math just did not get along.
Yeah, but I guess from the metaphysical side of it, I learned a lot. But I've been passionate ever since, and I've learned a lot. I've learned history. I've learned language, English, grammar. And numerology has taught me a lot. Numerology has really taught me a lot, way beyond my wildest expectation. And I've met a host of great people all over this planet. So it's very blessing. It's very blessing. Listen, tell your mate, Anton, I said hi, give him my best. The girls, and you take good care of yourself. And thanks for extending the offers to my viewership about it's afroprep.com. That's where they go to get
afroprepnow.com.
Afroprepnow.com. Afroprepnow.com.
He does classes quite often online, and lots of materials will be sent so they can print them off and have that information. Join the classes and the seminars. It's a whole thing.
Well, I'm going to have him on because the way they're talking about, you better get your water, you better stock up on your food. They're almost trying to put people in a panic mode and whatnot.
But you don't need to panic, but you do need to be ready. You need to know what you need to know.
And Anton is one of the best.
Yeah, Anton knows all of this stuff.
Yeah,
he's a genius at it. And this has been something he's been doing his whole life.
Well, that's why he's one of the best. Anytime you do something like that, you kind of like become a real expert at doing it,
He knows his stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's very, very lucky to have you in his life too.
Right? No. I'm lucky too.
Good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
We're both lucky, truly.
Anyway, Kendall, bless you so much. Love you so much, young lady. You take good care of yourself.
And thank you for all the best.
Me. Anytime. It was a pleasure. So everybody, you see my guest is Kendall Cobb. This is where you go to get her information. Call her. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of discounts, anything she's got. I'm telling you, I use her services. I even referred her to one of my daughters. And it made such a difference. I ain't gonna get into all my details because I'm kind of private, but it made such a big, big, big difference. and hopefully it'll make a big difference in your life too. So I do that. So I do want to let you know that the show has been brought to you today by Nicholas Brooklyn, over 50 years of service at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn. Also, UJuice, and their address is www.levittstore, LIVETSTORE store.com to order your juices. They're excellent. They're really, really excellent. Also, Jazz Aphrodite's has a course coming up on the 25th for 6 weeks. Please sign up for that. You'll find it fun and informative, very knowledgeable. You'll walk away on another level. I also want to thank Miss Kimberly for Manifest on Purpose that has been supporting me from day one. And one last thing, for those of you who missed the online screen, it's still available. You just go to www.robertaflack.com and click on the above link, and you will see it. I don't know how long it's going to be up, so at least you know. All right. And by the way, again, there will be a lunar eclipse coming up this weekend. Mercury will be coming up, and 2 weeks later on the 29th, there will be a partial solar eclipse. Okay. There are only four. Two is in lunar eclipse, two is in solar eclipse. Okay. For those of you who want to get the free newsletter for March, feel free. It is absolutely free. I do not sell the mailing list. I don't play that. Just go to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com or go to Linktree/numbers in you to get that. For those that don't want to read the monthly newsletter, you can hear the monthly forecast with Ms. Kimberly and I, which we do every month. I think we've now done about 15 shows like this. So it's done. And for the 18th of Tuesday of next week, I will have a guest in Karu on talking about the value of precious metals. Okay. And I want to let you know that also on the 13th of next month, I'm going to be doing a session on palmistry, which is one of my third loves. I love numerology is first, astrology is second, and this puppy is my third one. The hands does such a lot. You will be able to know. So just click on the icon, join. There are payment arrangements that can be made, whether whole or in parts. It's all up to you since everybody's on a budget, but please try to learn. All righty. And my Star 8 app is coming back. There's some things that were happening. To be honest with you, somebody tried to hack it, and then they want to try to make me pay money and stuff. And I said no. So that's why, for those of you who have gone through the little glitches and whatnot, I do apologize. I didn't want to say anything, but now that it's coming back, I need to tell you what happened. Just like people take and copy and whatnot. Well, that's what they did. Then they wanted to sell it back to me. And I said, no, we'll start all over again. So anyway, that's it. I want to thank everybody. You'll all have a good weekend. I will be with you Monday. Monday will be me. And I'll take all your questions about things that I saw, your birthdays and whatnot. And I'll give you a chance or give you an opportunity to kind of like maybe make some sense of some of the things that have a concern. But in the meantime, all of you take good care of yourselves. All right. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday, the 17th on Kendall Cobb's anniversary day. That's her anniversary day. Maybe we'll give her a call and say hi too. Okay. Bye now.